Hi, Nora from Text Help here with just a look at how a student could work independently with the OrbitNote PDF tool in Canvas. So instead of using an LMS and having the instructor provide everything, maybe you have a student who gets accommodations and needs to go a little bit deeper by using OrbitNote. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull this PDF out of Canvas and into our Google Drive so we can work independently without having to ask our instructor for anything. I'm going to hit that download button, and you're going to see I'm going to download that PDF. Here we go. And I'm going to download that, and we'll just go back here. I've already downloaded it, and I'm going to go ahead and open up this PDF here. And when I do, I'm going to have the option to open that with OrbitNote. And that's what I'm going to do. So I just brought it out of Canvas and into my Google Drive. And now here I have this wonderful document that I can play with. And I wanted to show you a few of the things that I've done. I can use a scribe tool here to make a note on it if I want to. But I want to be a little bit more thoughtful about the way I use these tools. So my favorite thing in OrbitNote is the highlighters. This is where you can apply skills and strategies and really start getting into critical thinking. So I just use the blue highlighter here to pull out some key things in the text. And I think I'm studying behaviorism. So I wanted to talk about who Pavlov was. So I used that blue highlighter and I picked up some information about Pavlov. And then I wanted to make sure I knew I was talking about behaviorism. I pulled some information about John Watson and B.F. Skinner and a little bit more about behaviorism. And when I do that with those highlighters, I could have the things about behaviorism in blue and maybe things that I wanted to learn more about in yellow, or, specific areas that I wanted to explore. I can use this collect highlights button here, and I'm only going to collect the blue highlights, and that's going to give me my notes from this text about behaviorism. So here's the things that I wanted to know about behaviorism. And then here is a link directly back to that text. So if I'm looking at that later. So that's one way to use this. I can take, 40 or 50 pages and condense it into 2 or 3 pages of my own notes that I can go over again at a later date. So that's one way that I like to use the tools. Another way that I like to use the tools is to use this typewriter T annotation. I can speak in there. I can use a word prediction, or I can just type directly in there. And the way that I like to use this typewriter T is I like to put areas where I am connecting with prior knowledge over here on the left of my text. So this might remind me of something that I already read in chapter 1 of the same book, right? So that's another thing that I can do. Now, the other way that I really like to use these tools is I can make a comment, and it works very similar to the way that you would make a comment in a Google Doc, right? So you click somewhere in the text and you add that comment. Again, you can use word prediction, speech input. You can have that comment read back to you. You can even attach something. But I thought that I might want to, at a later time, come back and cite this particular piece of the text about this Yerkes-Dodson curve. So I'm actually tagging it over here to the right of where that would be. And then if I decide later that I want to use that as a citation, I can come right back to it and examine it a little bit more before I go ahead and do that citation. So these are just a few of the ways that you could use OrbitNote. Of course, you can use it as an accommodation to have the text read out loud. So I will just quickly give you an example of that. So you get the idea. There's lots and lots of things here, not just as accommodations, but really truly helping to understand the text better and to prepare you to respond by using that PDF work. So I hope this is helpful.